Okay, Rhymer on the Road, episode 25. That's Ann. I'm Scott. Holy cow, 25 episodes. It's
Quarter
nuts.
of a century. Hard to believe, yes.
It is hard to believe. Pop quiz for you. And I got these answers wrong before I looked them up. So if you get it wrong, you're wrong. It's okay if you're wrong. Okay. How many states have we been to in the first 25 episodes?
15.
That's not correct. It's 25 states. Now, how many national parks? Can you guess that?
11.
That was closer. 13 national parks. Okay. So hard to believe that we've covered that much ground. We've been almost 14,000 miles.
Wow.
Which is the equivalent of going from New York to Los Angeles and back, and then doing it again, doing it twice.
Okay.
So that's how much and how many miles we've put on and how many places we've seen.
Not all of those are pulling miles, right?
That's correct.
Some of our driving around scenic roadways.
That's right. That is total miles in the beast, not pulling miles. So a couple of statistical things as we get to episode 25, which of course will be northern Utah and Salt Lake City area. Now, if you tuned in and you saw Salt Lake City, you saw Utah, you thought we might be going to the Mighty Five national parks in Utah. We are, but not in this episode. That will be in the spring on the second leg, right?
That's right. Not now.
Yeah, so hold tight on that. You've been to a couple of those.
I have, yeah.
I've been to none of them, so looking forward to that. That will be in the spring. But as I mentioned, this episode will be the northern Utah area, Salt Lake City, and it's jam-packed with some really, really cool stuff. So stay tuned for that. But we always let you know where we're headed to next so that you can give us some great feedback, and that is?
We are going to Glacier National Park. One of the big ones.
You've been really excited about this one. I don't know a whole lot about it, so I don't know whether to be excited or not excited, but I know because you are, it must be awesome and epic, and we're going to have a couple of guests with us.
We're going to have a couple of guests.
So we're excited about that. And you'll have to stay tuned because we are hitting Glacier right when it's starting to get a little cold, so that could impact. We've been worried about this since June.
Yeah, they had some snow this past weekend that has got going to the Sun Road partially closed right now. So we're hoping some warm weather this week may reopen it so that we can do the whole thing while we're there.
So in your feedback, obviously we know to go to the Going to the Sun Road, but you may want to give us some other ideas just in case that gets zapped out. But that is for episode 26 down the road. For now, it's episode 25, Salt Lake City and northern Utah. Here we go.
Guide me there, whispered dreams. Guide me there, whispered dreams. Take me where the gentle streams can soothe my soul. Turn the sky softer blue. Let me find my truth anew. In the hush, 'neath the trees, nature's breath.
All right, so we went into Antelope Island State Park, which was actually a recommendation a few years ago when Scott went from my friend Stephanie Gothier. She was like, you got to go to Antelope Island. So I had remembered that, and we made sure we went to Antelope Island, and it was actually really cool. So it's an island on the Great Salt Lake, and surprisingly, maybe it has antelopes, but we didn't see any. But we did see a lot of buffalo, and it just had great scenery. A lot of birds that were in the water, but really it was just a beautiful view. So we drove around. It has sort of not a loop, but it's got a scenic drive that takes you along the coast when you're up high. Now, something that did surprise me is that the Great Salt Lake is actually way down, like a lot. The marina is closed because it's dry docked. There's no water in it, so that was kind of surprising to me.
And although I don't think they have full hookups, they did have a campground.
They had two, yeah, at least two that we saw, and they were wide open. It had like the old ranch, I think, that was on the island. Had some of you could walk through where that was, and some of the old buildings. There was a fee to get in, so like a typical state park, so just check it before you get there so that you're not surprised at the amount when you get there. Beautiful. You could see Salt Lake City from the tip of the island. Had beautiful flowers, and if you were in the area, I believe it's an absolute must to try. Okay, so you know Scott and I like going to the mountain resorts, and of course we like to go up on the gondolas, so we had to search one out, and we found one in Snowbird Mountain Resort, and so we drove up to that. It was maybe 45-minute to an hour drive from Colville, where we were staying. It was up a beautiful canyon. I can't remember which one it was. It was either the little or the big Cottonwood Canyon. I don't remember which one it was, but it was a beautiful drive up. The leaves were changing, and then we got up to the ski resort, free parking at least during the week, and we walked around. I can imagine that place is hopping during the winter. Of course, we just went up to do the gondola, and we went up the gondola way, and it was beautiful. I mean, beautiful scenery. Had a nice little restaurant up top that we were able to enjoy the views from up there while we had a beer. But the thing about Snowbird, I think what caught our attention originally is that they actually host an Oktoberfest. And we had the opportunity, we could have gone, but I think as I'm getting older, just the amount of people, and then not knowing what we were doing, it just seemed a little overwhelming. They were talking about, take carpools up there. They had a ride share, and it just seemed, I just wasn't up for all of that. But we did get to see it all set up. So looks like it goes for every weekend for like a couple months. And actually, once we were there, one of the workers was saying that weekend happened to be one of their biggest attendance weekends. So in hindsight, I'm glad we didn't go. But I think it would have been cool to have checked it out. But so if you're in the area around, I think it was September and October, it sounds like it's a great time if you're up for all of the people. But it, know it's an option if you're there during the winter or the fall.
Now, we've done a lot of gondolas in our day, but this one had one thing that was a little different than all the other ones we've done.
You probably saw that in the video. It had glass bottoms in the area, so you could actually look down and see, the distance between you and the bottom, which is a little bit different. I'm not so sure about it. It was a little weird. But I looked at it at first, and then I just tried to not look at it anymore.
Yeah, I did kind of the same thing. I looked at it just to say I did, and got a little video just to say I did, and then got away from that. I didn't want to have anything to do with that.
And then I will say, going up to that ski resort, we passed a lot of hiking options. There were definitely some trailheads on the way up. So if you're into all of that, check them all out, because I actually recognized some of them as being ones that I had looked at for being popular in the area. We just decided not to do it because dogs are not allowed in that canyon, because it was the Salt Lake City watershed. So we didn't have Leo that day, so it just made it, we just went up to do the ski resort and come back.
Tell me a bit more about your technical issue before we continue.
No service on phone.
Okay, this could be somewhat monumental. We've been having phone issues. Anne has been having phone issues. And long story short, it had to get shipped a new phone to this campground, and we've been waiting all day to hear from them that it got here. And we had almost given up hope because it's almost 5 o'clock. But I think she's got a box in her hand. How about that? It came in.
By FedEx, not UPS.
Oh no.
And I saw the FedEx guy driving off.
Whoa, now don't break it right when you first got it.
Dog? Well, then you hold the dog. So I hadn't opened it yet, so we'll see.
But we assume it's your phone.
Yeah.
Well, good. That should make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
If it works.
If it works. Need to make sure it works.
Yeah. Well, the other one does not. So
yeah.
We got nothing to lose. All right, Park City, Utah, which is a little ski village that kind of sat between where we were staying in Colville and on the road into Salt Lake City. So it was an easy stop for us to do. You may have heard of Park City, Utah, because it is a part of Salt Lake City with the Olympics back in 2002. And we found out they're also going to host the Olympics again in 2034. And Park City is where, when the Olympics are in Salt Lake City, they use Park City for the luge and the ski jumps and all of that stuff. So we were able to kind of tour around that area, which is actually a training facility in Olympic Park during the off season. So it was kind of neat. We were able to watch a couple of the would-be Olympic performers practicing some of their ski jumps while we were there. But it truly gives you an appreciation, I think, especially of the ski slopes and how steep they were, especially towards the end. I just cannot fathom that, you know, people are able to do that at those speeds. So it's pretty amazing. It also has a really good museum inside, which is open, I think, pretty much year-round, and it was free. We were able to walk around and kind of get the history of skiing and you know, different uniforms that were used throughout the years, different types of skis, luge, you know, all the different techniques that they use, and it showed you how they've kind of progressed through the years. So I think definitely worth a trip in there, especially because it's free. That's what was really cool about it. We did go into Park City, Utah, the actual town, but we got there before 11 o'clock, and evidently nothing opens until 11 o'clock, or it didn't on this particular day, so we didn't get to do a whole lot inside of Park City, other than just kind of walk the streets. None of the shops are open, but it's a typical, I would say probably a typical ski town, kind of affluent, you know, a lot of nice shops in there, not a whole lot of silly gift shops and all that kind of stuff, which is nice. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that just really wasn't something that we felt like we needed to go back to later in the day after all that opened. But definitely, if you're in the area, Park City, Utah is a must-do, just for nothing other than to say you were where the Olympics were and will be. Okay, our final night here in Colville, Utah. We're near Park City, about Utah, 30 minutes or so from Salt Lake City. That's kind of our location. And I wanted to kind of show you kind of the time we're getting into now that summer's over and October is rolling in. I'm going to flip this around. This is our location for our campground. Okay, now the campground has some more campers here in the back, and there's more campers in the front. There's some permanent ones up front, or seasonal, I should say, not permanent. But this is our little cul-de-sac here, and you can notice we have it all to ourselves. There's Allie over here. It's a nice little river behind us. Unfortunately, it's kind of grown up right here, so you can hear the river from the rig, but it's hard to see it from the rig. But of course, when you get up here, you can check it out. Now this is the back area at the campground. You do see there, we do have a neighbor right here. But other than that, it's empty in that back area as well. So it's just a wild time when you're full-time and you eventually get to a point, especially during the weekdays, where you just don't have a whole lot of people camping with you. It's kind of nice. It's kind of strange at night when it's so quiet. When we got here, it was a weekend, Saturday, and Saturday and Sunday were, you know, not full, but had a lot of people here. But during the week, it's been quiet. So there you go. We're beginning to kind of pack up here tonight. I'm going to grill some chicken, but winding down here in Utah, and we're about to head to Idaho. See you there. Okay, there you go. Episode 25 of Reimer on the Road. That's Salt Lake City, northern Utah. A lot of stuff to do in this area. We should mention right out of the gate that we probably missed a little bit of an opportunity to do more in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, we did. For sure.
Yeah, and if we're not really big city people, and Salt Lake City's not a huge city, but there were some things, especially with the Mormon Tabernacle Church, there were some things that we could have done and probably should have done, but we just didn't get to it.
Right. Well, we had Leo with us the first time. We just drove through it to scope it out on our way back to the campground, and then we did have a rain out day, and that just kind of set us back, and we just never made it back into Salt Lake City. That was on the list. Just didn't quite make it.
Yep. And every place we go, you always have to be comfortable with yourself and just saying we can't do everything.
Right.
And you can't let that bother you. Now, this area itself, when you talk about Salt Lake City, the Great Salt Lake, and then when very quickly you can get up into the ski parks. Oh, yeah. Unlike in many, Denver the airport is a long way from some of the ski resorts, Breckenridge and Aspen and Vail and all those things. Yeah. But here, you fly into Salt Lake City, you can be on a slope in about an hour at the most.
Right, yes. There were a lot of them, and yes, very well situated.
One thing about the slopes, too, and I'm sure this is the same, and it is the same in the Rockies of Colorado, but when we got up to the top of the gondola, and we saw all the slopes that were on the side facing where we were going up the mountain, but then when we got to the top and looked over, there were slopes going everywhere below. It's just a huge ski area in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and we're not skiers, but yes. Reminded me like what we saw when we went up Zugspitze in Germany. You go up there and actually you don't see the ski slopes
at all
at the bottom, but then you get up, then they're all on the top. So it was, nice surprise.
I thought the Olympic Village was cool as well. We didn't get to explore Park City, the city, very much either. We talked about that in the video.
Drove through it, and that was, closed up.
So it was kind of one of those trips where we kind of hit it in a time when we could do a lot of cool things, but if you're into skiing and that's your jam, this is an epic place to go. I know a lot of people talk about Colorado and the Rockies of Colorado, and we've been there, so we know how awesome that is. But I can see how Salt Lake City is a true skier's paradise.
And the like you just talked about, the ease of getting up to the ski resorts. But also in the summer and the spring, maybe not as much as the spring, in the summer, maybe in the fall, hiking. Yeah. There were a lot of options for hiking. And so, if you come during those times, I think you'll have your pick of the litter.
Now, we talked about the campground in the video. You saw that. We stayed in Colville. Now, I will say this. If you are really wanting to do a lot of stuff in Salt Lake City, multiple days in Salt Lake City, where we stayed's too far out. Yeah. You need to move in closer to Salt Lake City. Yeah. We were relatively close to Park City. That was probably our nearest big town other than Colville. Yeah. But this was not a base camp, a good base camp, if you want to do Salt Lake City.
Correct.
It was about an hour.
About an hour, yeah.
Into it. Yeah. So keep all that in mind when you go to book your place. But I will say this. Utah gets a lot of attention for the central and southern part of Utah, rightfully so, with the Mighty Five and the national parks down there. But if you're interested in the ski areas, whether it's winter or not, the Great Salt Lake, we didn't really talk about that much in this post wrap, but that's an epic thing to see as well.
Yeah, it was a beautiful area.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was. So, yes. Now, but you could also group this in with a trip to the Mighty Five, because when I went a few years back, I actually looked into it. One of our options was to fly into Salt Lake and then drive down to them. So it could be another good, we ended up flying into Las Vegas when we did part of the Mighty Five, and I kind of think Salt Lake would give you a whole nother vibe.
Yep.
Maybe it's a little bit longer drive, but it's a big airport, and then you can maybe add a few days and stay in Salt Lake and experience all this.
That's right. So there you go. That is a wrap on episode 25. You can see what we're doing right now. We're in Idaho, Reimer on the Road on Instagram. You posted some pretty cool photos of something we did yesterday.
Yes. Yeah, they went on live this morning.
So get on Reimer on the Road on Instagram. Of course, like this channel, subscribe, so that you can provide some comments for us as well as we look forward to headed to Glacier National Park. We'll have episode 26 recapping this area in Idaho. So a lot to do. We still got a lot more to do. It's been 25 episodes. It'll be more than that when we're done with this trip as we continue to put the miles on it. And we look forward to continuing to share all of this with you and for your feedback for us. So for Ann and Scott and Leo, who's over there relaxing, thanks for tuning in. Episode 25 is over. And don't forget now, do it today.